From metropolitan reservoirs where restless spirits resulting from brutal disasters still wander, to ancient ponds haunted by the ghosts of tragedies long past. Are you ready for our second list of picks for some of the most haunted lakes in the United States? Number 5. Braley Pond. Braley Pond, located in the George Washington and Jefferson National Forests, west of Stanton in Virginia, is a 4.5-acre man-made body of water popular amongst hikers, hunters, campers, anglers, and all manner of nature enthusiasts. Historically, the George Washington National Forest was initially established in 1918 as the Shenandoah National Forest, but was later renamed in 1932. Jefferson National Forest was founded in 1936, with Braley Pond constructed later in 1965 by the U.S. Forest Service as a recreational site. In 1989, Braley was drained to dredge its upper end, with filler used to plot a new fishing point, and in 1995, both George Washington and Jefferson National Forests were officially combined. Braley Pond remains open to this day, offering a range of landmarks, hikes, beautiful scenery, and, according to local legend, a handful of paranormal infestations. According to various accounts, Braley is haunted by the spirits of the many who have died on or near it, be it by accident, suicide, or murder, and those frequenting the area have reported disembodied footsteps, the sounds of splashing from empty waters, and children's laughter along trails. Orbs are commonly captured in photographs. Visitors often report feeling randomly nauseous, and shadowy figures have been known to stalk the living. Lastly, many braving Braley have described the feeling of being watched, followed, or even shoved by something unseen, and several have claimed that whatever this presence is has actually followed them home for a time, resulting in ongoing nightmares and other terrifying phenomena. Number 4. Spirit Lake. Spirit Lake, located off State Highway 41 north of Rathdrum and bordered by the town of Spirit Lake in Idaho, is one of only 2 lakes in the world boasting a rather unique sealed bottom. As parts of both history and native legend have it, the lake's original name translated to clear water, but following severe tragedy was changed to represent Lake of the Spirits. The town of Spirit Lake was plotted out in 1907, and in 1910, real estate developers would design its first streets, business structures, residences, and utilities. As housing along the lake shores became more popular, Spirit Lake slowly developed into a resort town, and today, while some do live there year-round, many only visit through its summer months. The lake is a popular recreation zone, offering 4.5 square miles of water, 12 miles of shoreline, and a range of trails, picnic areas, and swim holes. As local legend has it, Spirit Lake is haunted by a slew of supernatural forces, and many frequenting its expanse have reported orbs in the backgrounds of photographs, constant electronic malfunctions, disembodied moaning, crying, and chanting, strange fogs that descend on the area alone, and the constant feeling of being watched, followed, or even touched by something unseen. The most famous story surrounding the lake tells that long ago, a KOOTENAI chief's daughter fell in love with a man from her tribe, but was forced to marry into another tribe as a peace offering. Instead of accepting their planned fates, the young lovers chained themselves together and jumped into the deepest part of the waters. Their spirits have been sighted across the lake, namely at night, either in a canoe or floating together, hand in hand. Number 3. Veterans Lake. Veterans Lake, housed within the Platte Historic District at the Chickasaw National Recreation Area in Murray County, Oklahoma, is a 67-acre man-made lake that takes its name in honor of all American War veterans, past, present, and future. Historically, the area was initially established as the Sulphur Springs Reservation in 1902, and later, in 1906, was renamed and redesigned as Platte National Park. Through the 1930s, crews from the New Deal Civilian Conservation Corps developed parklands, including Veterans Lake, which was formed in 1933, and in 1976, Platte National Park was combined with the Arbuckle Recreational Area and was renamed as Chickasaw National Recreation Area. In 1983, the lake, which was previously part of Sulphur, was acquired by the larger recreation zone. Veterans Lake remains open to this day, offering swim holes, boating options, picnic areas, trails, and much more. As legend has it, the lake is haunted by the many who have drowned there, with the most popular story telling that long ago a mother attempted to save her son, but that both ended up perishing. The ghostly form of a woman has been sighted drifting the lake, rarely accompanied by a spectral child splashing next to her desperately. Apparitions that appear so real they've resulted in bystanders rushing into the waters only to find the figures have vanished entirely. Reported around the lake are disembodied voices, strange mists and fogs, electronic malfunctions, and encounters with the full-bodied apparition of a teenaged girl thought to have been killed in a boating accident, and orbs, strange lights, and ghosts in old-fashioned swimwear have been sighted on the waters. Lastly, one chilling local rumor claims that if anyone steps into the lake after dark, they might just be pulled under by its spirits. Number 2. Lake Morena. Lake Morena, located at the headwaters of Cottonwood Creek, east of San Diego, California, is a man-made reservoir that acts as the uppermost in a string of 3 reservoirs providing water to the massive metro. Historically, Morena Dam was first proposed in 1880 by the Southern California Mountain Water Company. Construction of the dam was started in 1896, was halted in 1898 due to complications, was resumed again in 1909, and was finally completed in 1912, with the city of San Diego purchasing it just 2 years later in 1914. Resulting from severe drought, the reservoir didn't fill as anticipated, and in 1916 the city actually hired Charles Hatfield, better known as the Rainmaker, to work his magic. Within 10 nights, a flooding rain hit the area, filling the reservoir within hours. But sadly, during this flood, around 50 locals lost their lives and structures were destroyed. Lake Morena remains open to this day as a popular destination for camping, fishing, and as a general natural recreational site. The most famous ghost story surrounding the reservoir tells of a young girl named Millie, whose mother was highly abusive and is said to have cut her mouth open from ear to ear before killing her and dumping her body somewhere in the forests. Millie's spirit, a pale blonde girl in a spattered apron, donning a grotesquely bloody smile, has been known to appear to the living and has even been linked to several murders in the area. Also encountered around Morena are orbs and mists visible to the naked eye, otherworldly cold spots, shadowy figures that stalk the living, and various full-bodied apparitions sighted roaming the shores, floating above the waters, or even gliding through campsites. Lastly, some stories tell the spirits of those killed in the flood may still remain on site, and a woman in white has been known to stalk the forest, announcing her presence with chilling laughter, crying, or singing. Number 1. Lake Ronkonkoma. Lake Ronkonkoma, bordered by Smithtown, Islip, and Brookhaven in New York, is Long Island's largest freshwater lake, measuring in at 2 miles around. Though its average depth is all of 15 feet, visibility is lacking past 10, and several portions of the lake are rumored to hit as deep as 70. Historically, land surrounding the lake was split by native tribes of the region, with its name translating roughly to the boundary fishing place, and its current split ownership actually exists due to separate sales between tribes to various townships. The area that is now Brookhaven was first settled in 1640, with its official founding landing in 1655. Smithtown, initially called Smithfield, first came into being circa 1665, with one local legend claiming Richard Smith was gifted the plot after rescuing the daughter of a native chief. and land now holding Islip was purchased from the Connecticut tribe in 1683 and would remain a relatively small settlement until after the Revolution. The lake remains open to this day and is heavily managed by a tri-town committee dedicated to the preservation of their locale. Ronkonkoma is rumored to be haunted by the spirits of the countless lost on and near its waters, and supernatural activity through the area is said to get so severe many locals avoid it entirely, with some whispering of ancient curses or dark forces. Chillingly, the waters of Ronkonkoma appear bottomless, strange whirlpools often appear out of nowhere, and an unknown number of corpses actually remain in its depths, just beyond the point of visibility. Disturbingly, a handful of said corpses have washed ashore in Connecticut, leading to the speculation underground tunnels may exist in the lake's depths. One popular story tells that in 1965, a lifeguard named David was set to work the lake the same nights for weeks on end, and while doing so, had a reoccurring dream in which he was trying to rescue a swimmer but would lose his orientation and was forced to the surface, only to be met with the explosion from fireworks overhead, after which he'd wake up suddenly. During a 4th of July celebration, a swimmer went into seizure and sank instantly. Sadly, though David and one additional lifeguard searched for hours, the boy's body was never recovered. But it's said that right as David reached the surface, fireworks for the local celebration began erupting over his head, bringing his terrifying nightmare to reality. Reported across Ronkonkoma are strange fogs seen floating with sentience, spectral ice skaters spied in the middle of summer, and phantom boats known to vanish when noticed by the living. One final tale tells that sometime through the 1600s, the daughter of a native chief fell in love with a European settler, but that her father forbade their relationship. After years of courting from afar and her father's tightening grasp, it's said the young woman rowed to the middle of the lake in a canoe where she stabbed herself to death. This sad tale furthers to tell that when her body reached the other side, it was discovered by her lover who, in some versions, goes on to wander the lands alone, and in others ends his own life so that their spirits can be joined in death. Following this tragedy, the story spread between both native tribes and settlers, and many began seeing her form around the lake, often in a canoe. Her ghost is said to be filled with vengeance and will take the life of one man each year until she finds her true love. Stranger still, between the late 1800s and early 1970s, there were over 160 documented drownings, and who knows how many undocumented. And in most instances, women involved in said accidents seem to survive ridiculous circumstances, while men would perish in seemingly inconsequential mistakes. On a closing note, the lake's water levels are known to rise and lower at random, with some native tribes claiming this is due to the great spirit of the lake, while others tell this happens every 7 years on the dot and is related to the spirit of the young woman and her love, who purportedly bared through their torturous existences for exactly so long. Taking its ridiculously fascinating and somewhat dark history into account, and coupling it with a string of ghost stories, native tales, and urban legends a mile long, we felt Lake Ronkonkoma was the best choice as our pick for the most haunted lake in the United States. Thanks for tuning in to our second list of some of the most haunted lakes in the United States. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn notifications on. Throw us a like and, most importantly, share us with anyone you feel could use a good scare. We'll catch you all next time, if something else doesn't first.